insecurities about your singing voice. You even stated that you knew you weren't the vocal favorite of Destiny's Child. Is that something that, what made you second guess?
You know what? It's not that I was second guessing. I'm just aware. You know, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's stuck. They said it stuck with her. No, it didn't stick with me. You know, just sometimes you're aware that you're not everybody's favorite. And that's okay. I still got paid.
Okay.
She stood there in the middle of the backstage hallway, silent, frozen, and pale, like the world had just tilted out of place. Beyonce had heard rumors before. She'd heard whispers, accusations, and online theories that she learned to ignore years ago. But this time it wasn't coming from a tabloid or a blogger or some random comment under a picture of her family. This time, it came from someone she trusted, someone who was close enough to know the truth. Someone who, according to the voices echoing through the industry, finally broke her silence. And her name was Lala Anthony. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Beyoncé had spent years building walls around her private life, protecting her heart, her marriage, and her empire. She fought through betrayals, doubts, and humiliation under the spotlight. She survived the elevator incident, the Becky with the good hair storm, and the endless side chick allegations thrown at Jay-Z like darts.
Yeah, I can challenge Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Psych. That boy's got too much skills for me, buddy. Nope.
You know, we
can rap.
We can flow
God.
so well, you know. We're gonna put out Destiny's Child album, Rapology, you know.
Yeah, I can challenge Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Psych. That boy's got too much skills for me, buddy.
But nothing and nobody prepared her for the day she heard that the betrayal didn't come from a stranger, but from the woman she once called her sister, Kelly Rowland, her childhood friend, her Destiny's Child family, the girl she grew up with, the girl she cried with, the girl she defended, the girl she shared stages, dreams, and history with. So when Lala Anthony allegedly revealed that Kelly wasn't just close to Jay-Z, but was actually his longtime side chick, Beyoncé broke down. And that is where our story begins. Long before any rumors, scandals, or emotional breakdowns, there was a sisterhood, real, raw, and complicated. Beyoncé and Kelly weren't just bandmates, they were practically raised together. Kelly came into the Knowles home as a young girl after her family went through difficult times. Tina Knowles opened her doors, and Kelly became part of their world. They ate together, practiced together, and dreamed together. For years, people even assumed they were biological cousins because their bond felt deeper than friendship. Growing up under Matthew Knowles' strict management, the girls endured pressure most adults couldn't handle. Rehearsals, interviews, recording sessions, they had no choice but to rely on each other. And Beyoncé, being the one pushed forward as the lead, always carried the guilt of being the chosen one, even when she didn't ask for it. Kelly, on the other hand, hid her insecurities behind that sweet smile, trying not to let the comparisons crush her spirit. Behind the cameras, Destiny's Child wasn't always glitz and glamour. There were jealous moments, quiet arguments, long stares that held words nobody wanted to say. Kelly often felt overshadowed.
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I can take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now. And she been saying, Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling Jay-Z. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young. And, you know, had my little brother and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like...
Beyoncé felt misunderstood. And through it all, the one person who held them together was Jay-Z. When Jay came into Beyoncé's life, he wasn't just her partner. He became part of the group's inner circle. He gave advice, offered protection, and even helped with career moves that kept Destiny's Child on top. He was older, powerful, connected, and for Kelly, who had always been pushed aside or told she wasn't enough, Jay-Z's attention felt different. It felt validating. It felt like someone finally saw her. Nobody suspected anything back then. Not Beyoncé, not Tina, not anyone. The friendship between Beyoncé and Kelly felt unshakable. Beyoncé trusted Kelly like a sister.
The typical stage mother who's there all of the time, interfering, meddling.
I hear the comment all the time, God, you are nothing like I heard you were. You are really a nice.
And Kelly, at least on the surface, looked loyal enough to guard Beyoncé's secrets with her own life. But as the years passed, the cracks started to show. A weird tension formed whenever Jay-Z walked into the room. Beyoncé felt it before she understood it. Little glances, quiet pauses, conversations that ended the moment she stepped in. But she pushed the thoughts away, because this was Kelly, her Kelly, and betrayal simply wasn't possible. Or so she thought. Fast forward to the era when the internet was exploding with theories.
Securities about your singing voice. You even stated that you knew you weren't the vocal favorite of Destiny's Child. Is that something that, what made you second guess?
You know what? It's not that I was second guessing. I'm just aware. You know, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's stuck. They said it stuck with her. No, it didn't stick with me. You know, just sometimes you're aware that you're not everybody's favorite. And that's okay. I still got paid.
Okay.
Fans started noticing the tension between Beyoncé and Kelly. They saw how the two rarely interacted publicly anymore. They pointed out how Kelly didn't appear at certain events. And then, Titan was born. Kelly's son immediately became part of another rumor storm, with fans saying he looked more like Jay-Z than Kelly's husband. It was messy, uncomfortable, and downright disrespectful, but people couldn't stop talking about it. Beyoncé ignored everything. She wasn't about to let the world convince her that her best friend had betrayed her. But then came the elevator incident. Solange didn't swing at Jay-Z without a reason. And while nobody knew what was said before those elevator doors closed, the speculation grew louder. Some said Solange had finally confronted Jay about cheating on Beyoncé with multiple women. Others said she had discovered something even more personal, something involving someone Beyoncé loved deeply. Years passed. Beyoncé released Lemonade, pouring her heartbreak into her music. Lines like, "You can taste the dishonesty," and "I prayed you'd catch me," shook the world. But what Beyoncé didn't say, the secrets she kept hidden in the lyrics, became the real mystery. And that mystery exploded into chaos when Lala Anthony allegedly dropped a bombshell during a private conversation that somehow found its way into industry gossip circles. That Kelly Rowland wasn't just close to Jay-Z, she was his long-term side chick. Not a fling, not a rumor, not a misunderstanding, a real, ongoing affair. According to insiders, Lala, who knows both Beyoncé and Kelly personally, had seen things, heard things, and witnessed moments that didn't feel right. She allegedly mentioned that the emotional energy between Kelly and Jay wasn't normal. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't friend-like. It felt intimate. And when Beyoncé heard that Lala had spoken about it, finally confirming the very thing Beyoncé had prayed wasn't true, her heart shattered. Because it wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It wasn't just about Jay-Z cheating. It was about her sister being part of it. Let's break down exactly what pushed this scandal into the spotlight. The tipping point happened at a quiet industry gathering, one of those small get-togethers where celebrities finally drop their guard. According to people who were there, Lala was having a conversation about loyalty and betrayal in Hollywood. Someone mentioned the rumors about Jay-Z and the mystery women of his past. Another person brought up Kelly's old lyrics, hinting at being jealous of Beyoncé and feeling overshadowed. And that's when Lala said it, softly, almost reluctantly, that the tension between Beyoncé and Kelly wasn't just about career jealousy. that there had been something else, something deep, something Beyoncé never fully recovered from. She said Kelly had crossed a line years ago, a line that destroyed their sisterhood. She said Beyoncé wasn't just hurt, she was heartbroken. The room went silent. Someone recorded it, someone repeated it, and suddenly the industry was buzzing like a hive. Beyoncé heard it within hours, and according to sources close to her, she cried. Not because she didn't know, but because it confirmed her worst fear. That even people outside her circle knew the truth she tried to bury. Jay-Z's history made the story even more believable. Dozens of women had come forward over the years, alleged secret children, affairs that were swept under the rug. Models, influencers, artists, everyone had a story. So when Kelly's name came up, people didn't ask, "Is it true?" They asked, "How long has this been going on?" Some insiders claim the affair began during Destiny's Child's peak, when Kelly was struggling to find her place in the group. Others believe it started during the early 2000s when Jay was mentoring the girls. And a few say it resurfaced years later, around the time Solange attacked Jay-Z. But the darkest rumor says this: Jay-Z allegedly fathered a child with Kelly, and that the Knowles family worked overtime to bury the story. Is there proof? No. Just whispers, coincidences, and years of tension between the two women who once called each other sisters. But the emotional damage? That part is very real. Imagine being Beyoncé. Imagine growing up with someone, giving them a home, sharing the biggest moments of your life, and trusting them with your heart. Imagine defending them, supporting them, loving them like family. And then imagine finding out that the one person you trusted the most, outside of your own blood, was involved with your husband. It wasn't just a betrayal. It was a heartbreak that changed her forever. Sources say Beyoncé's breakdown wasn't loud. She didn't scream or lash out. She cried quietly, painfully, because silent tears cut deeper than angry ones. She felt humiliated, blindsided, and wounded in a way she didn't know how to heal from. She felt like everything she had built, her marriage, her family, her career, was stained by a betrayal she couldn't escape. She reportedly stopped taking calls. She distanced herself from everyone, including Kelly. The sisterhood was shattered, and no public smile, reunion photo, or friendly Instagram comment could ever fix it. To Beyoncé, Kelly wasn't just another woman Jay cheated with. She was the one person who wasn't supposed to hurt her. And that's what crushed her. Here's the part nobody expected. The emotional fallout didn't just hit Beyoncé. It hit Kelly too. Kelly knew the rumors were circulating again. She knew Lala's alleged comments were spreading fast. And while Kelly has always been poised, graceful, and diplomatic, insiders say she spiraled in private, because deep down, she knew the truth would destroy her image, her friendships, and any chance of reconciliation with Beyoncé. She had spent years trying to rebuild their bond. But now, it was too late. People close to Kelly say she became distant, anxious, and guarded, as if she knew a storm was coming, and that storm hit the moment Beyoncé broke down. Family members say Beyoncé couldn't look Kelly in the eyes. She couldn't hear her voice. She couldn't speak her name, because the wound was too deep, too raw, too painful. And when Jay-Z tried to deny everything, Beyoncé reportedly told him, "Lies don't save families, they destroy them." This wasn't just a marital issue. It was a spiritual wound, a betrayal of trust that shattered the foundation of Beyoncé's childhood, her sisterhood, and her belief in loyalty. She had been betrayed before, but never like this. Never by someone she loved this much. So where does this leave Beyoncé today? Stronger, but scarred. She learned that not everyone who grows up with you grows with you. She learned that jealousy can turn into competition, and competition can turn into something darker. She learned that sometimes the people who call you sister are secretly holding knives behind their backs. She learned that becoming Beyoncé The legend, the icon, the mother, the wife, came with a price that only she knows how to carry. And the saddest part? Beyoncé still loves Kelly in some corner of her heart. Not as a friend, not as a sister, but as the girl who once shared a dream with her. But that version of Kelly died the moment Beyoncé realized the betrayal was real. La La Anthony didn't break Beyoncé. She didn't expose anything new. She simply confirmed the truth Beyoncé had been trying to outrun for years. And when the truth finally caught her, she cried quietly, deeply, painfully, like a woman mourning the loss of a sisterhood that would never return. In the end, the scandal isn't just about cheating. It's about trust, loyalty, family, and the painful realization that the people you love the most are sometimes the ones who destroy you the most. The world watches Beyoncé smile, perform, and rise above every storm. But behind the perfection lies a woman who has endured heartbreaks the world will never fully understand. And this one, the betrayal between her husband and her sister friend, will forever be the wound she carries in silence. Because some betrayals, they don't just hurt, they change you forever.